Hey guys, I wanted to quickly show you a new feature of the UiPress plugin for WordPress. For those that don't know, this is a plugin that basically puts the typical WordPress dashboard on steroids. Unlocks a ton of features um, that are not there by default. It also helps you to eliminate other third-party plugins. For example, role editor plugins, plugins that track activity on your website. Those are just a couple plugins off the top of my head that you can eliminate if you use UiPress. Okay, so what I'm going to cover today, like I said, is a new feature that came out recently, and it has everything to do with user management, whether it's the activity, their roles, their passwords, or anything you can think of pretty much that has to do with the user accounts. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'll stop blabbing on. So I'm going to sign in here to my tutorial site. If I could type. All right, so here we are looking at, sorry, I'm going to close that down. Here we're looking at the back end of the tutorial site, and we see that the dashboard already looks different, and that's because UiPress is installed and configured. And I've got a guide out there on the MyListing Club website for how to use UiPress in general, how to set it up, how I set it up. So I would check that out. Also includes a link to a discount for UiPress for club members. Okay, so let's go ahead and excuse me, get into this new feature. So to find this, we're going to go under users, so expand users, and then we're going to go to user management. This is going to unlock three sections: the users, the roles, and the activity. So let's just go through each of these one by one. So here we have my admin account, my listing club, and then I created this test user under a separate email address and whatnot. So as you can see, you can do, you can add users, you could assign them, create groups, custom groups, assign users to groups and things of that nature. So like if you wanted to do a special group of a certain group of editors that are doing listings for your site, or special groups of admins with special permissions, just you can get really granular with what you want to do there. Or you don't have to use groups at all if you don't want to. That's just a really cool way to segment those people. So yeah, if you got the groups, you can add groups, filter, search users, search by users. So Ryan, type that in, and that's going to come up. You can filter by role. So you can see all of the roles here that this plugin unlocks. You can filter by the dates that the user accounts were created. A lot of powerful stuff there. As I pointed out in the guide that I just updated for UiPress, a really cool feature that I really wanted to highlight is the ability to send a message to all of your users or a subset of your users in bulk. Okay? Let's first look at a single user. So let's just say I wanted to send Ryan a message. You don't actually have to tick that box if it's just one person, but you just click on these three dots here over at the right for user options, and you could send a message. And that's going to pull up this box. You could put in whatever you wanted for a reply email. Put in your subject. Let's put in new feature for business listings. And then here we could say, hi, we have a new feature that we think you will love, and that will drive engagement to your business listings on our platform. And then you could even put a link in here. A new feature we think you'll love, or whatever you want to put for the anchor there, and then click the link, and let's just pretend we're putting in a link here. So we've got our text, we've got our link, and obviously sending a message is going to arrive in their inbox. Super cool. So as you can see, you can just one-off email one person, a couple people. But imagine if you, sorry, my phone's ringing. They always wait until I get on a video before they call. So yeah, you can imagine if you've got this stuff segmented in a way to where you've been really paying attention to who's signing up for your website and all of that, and maybe you don't have a full-blown email marketing system in place yet to segment your people. You could actually do this in UiPress. You could lump everybody into groups, business listing owners or event listing owners or whatever you wanted to do there, and then you could also place the users in multiple groups. So let's just pretend that both of these accounts right here, you can pretend you have hundreds of accounts we're selecting here. You just select them all. Click the three dots just next to one of these users. Click send message. You see here that 2 recipients come up. So it's showing you which ones are going to get the email. You just send that email blast out. So really cool stuff there built into UiPress. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is roles. A lot of times you'll see in MyListing websites, or a lot of WordPress sites in general, that need custom roles. You'll see a plugin that's installed just for that purpose. So UiPress eliminates the need for those. So it unlocks roles for you. You can search by roles, and then if you create a role, you can set all these custom permissions. Tons of stuff that you can do here. Okay, name the role, give it a label, and then save the role, build it out however you want, and then save it. And then once you have that role, then obviously you can assign it to users. Okay, so go in here, let's find my account, click the 3 dots, open profile, and here you can edit the user and assign your roles. So you can do multiple roles. Pretty cool stuff. Oh yeah, while I'm in here, you can also put notes in for your users. So again, maybe you don't have a full-blown CRM system and you just want to take notes on how you interact with certain customers. Mary is an awesome customer. You know, whatever, make those notes. Let's go back to roles again. So like I said, you can edit existing roles. You can create a new role. Another thing you can do is click on the 3 dots next to a role and clone it. So let's say, for example, you want to give a version of the administrator role, but you don't want to start from scratch and build that out. So what you can do is start with the admin role, clone it, and then work your way backwards. Like, okay, I want the admin role, but I don't want them to have, you know, blah, blah, blah. You just start unchecking these boxes. So it's easier to clone and then work your way back than to try to build that from scratch, from ground zero. Okay. So then let's look at the last piece here, the activity. So you can search by a specific past history activity that the person did. You can filter by their role, the date, or certain actions that they completed. Like I want to filter everything by when people logged out. You know, for example, you could choose that one. I don't have anyone in here right now, and that's partially because I do not have the analytics piece connected to this tutorial site. I may do that here in the future, but right now that's why it's not populating. And then you can filter, show a certain number per page. You know, the typical stuff you're used to in the WordPress admin, sort by ascending, descending, descending. So let's say you had activity coming in for the users. Back here on the users tab, if I just click my name again, open profile, what you would see here is recent page views and recent activity. This is a test post. This is actually a listing. This total post. This shows I have one listing on the site because I created a test listing. Okay, and the last login date, I actually have an email out to I ping the developer of this plugin just to ask how this gets pulled in. This might also be by analytics, but I would think it could get pulled in just from WordPress in general. So I'll have to find out on that. But these bottom two, that makes sense for those to be coming from analytics, which you configure that in UiPress. You just connect to Google Analytics if you want. Okay, so pretty powerful stuff. And while you're in here, you can do other things that you can typically see in the built-in WordPress user management. So send a password reset, log them out from everywhere, and then obviously delete them. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. I just wanted to point out these new features in case you're not keeping up to date with the changelog for UiPress. It's part of what I feel like my job is to do. So again, hope you find this useful. Please subscribe to see future videos, and hope all is well. Thank you. Bye-bye.